his mental ability. The president just can't seem to handle the job, you know. He can't handle the job. Look how he stormed out. He didn't storm out. He blew them off and walked away. Just figured this is pointless. And of course it was pointless. Well, let's see. Let's get a little taste of this, Mr. Producer. Let's see. I think it's cut, what is it, 17? We have so many cuts here. Cut 15. Let's go with let's do Rachel Maddow. You can't, by the way, not only can't you tell the difference between the Democrats and the media, you can't tell the difference between the news people and the opinion people. All right, let's go. Cut 17.
This is an uncomfortable truth about how we produce this show now. It is a weird time to be in the news business where you really reliably cannot play any tape from the sitting president of the United States without also bookending it with, caveats and corrections and clarifications.
And first of all, she's not a news person. She's a left-wing hack. She chased this Russia conspiracy right off the edge of the earth. She's not a news person. And corrections, they must be confusing the president with Chuck Todd and Scott Pelley and the New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN and all the rest of them that are lying and spinning and omitting each and every day. I'll be right back.
From the Westwood One Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this final hour of the podcast is sponsored exclusively by AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Now over 2 million conservative members strong, AMAC believes in and stands up for the values that we care about: faith, family, and freedom. Thank you for listening, and please support AMAC. And you can become a member at amac.us/join.
He's here. He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our final hour. Stick with us. Our number, 877-381-3811. 877-381-3811. So, how long ago did Chuck Todd go on the air and apologize? Kind of apologize, Mr. Producer. Hour or so ago? Well, let's hear what you think of this apology, this putative apology. Cut 21, go.
During the program, we aired a soundbite from a CBS News interview with the Attorney General, Bill Barr. In the bite that we aired and commented on, Mr. Barr was asked how he thinks the history of his decision to end the prosecution of the former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn will be written. Mr. Barr answered, quote, "History is written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history." In the full version of the interview and transcript, he went on to say, "But I think a fair history would say that it was a good decision because it upheld the rule of law." Now, we did not edit that out. That was not our edit. We didn't include it because we only saw the shorter of 2 clips.
Whoa. What do you mean you only saw the shorter of 2 clips? The full clip was out there. That's how everybody knew what a screw-up you are and were. So that's a duck. Go ahead.
We should have looked at both and checked for a full transcript.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. And you should know by now, you reprobates can't trust each other. Because you're not really news organizations. But that Catherine Heritage clip was out there. The full interview was out there. I know I watched it. And to say, well, CBS cut it off. That's what they gave us and so forth. Okay. Then CBS lied and cheated too. But that doesn't give you an excuse. You took a shortcut, and you liked what the shortcut showed you, and that's all you did. But this shows you the kind of so-called reporting and research these people do. Go ahead.
A mistake that I wish we hadn't made, and one that I wish I hadn't made. The second part of the Attorney General's answer would have put it in the proper context. And had I seen that part of the interview, I would not have framed the conversation.
All you had to do, Chuck, is look. It was out there for the whole world to see. But you didn't look. Is that it, Mr. Producer? Go ahead.
And I obviously am very sorry for that mistake. We strive to do better going forward.
No, you don't. You don't strive to do better in the least. You got caught. And that's the problem. We got to catch these guys. It's like catching, Obama and what he's done. Now, I think it's time to move to this. Joe Biden on Good Morning America today. Honest to God, folks, what kind of commander-in-chief, man who wants to be president of the United States, keeps hiding out in his basement? He shows no interest in getting out of the basement. None. I always joke about the guy in the basement, the liberal. Some slob sitting in the basement, overweight, in his tank top or in his boxer shorts, living in his mother's home. Well, I'm just saying that Joe Biden is hiding in the basement, not because of anything to do with the coronavirus, because his advisors know he's incapable of actually running for president. He's incapable of speaking in complete sentences. I don't even blame it on him. I read a piece by Quinn Hillier, who was very negative. People would dare to say that Joe Biden might have dementia. Well, Quinn is dead wrong. Dead wrong. Unfortunately, I've seen this. Something's not right, and not just old age. Old age is you forget here and there, and so Joe Biden, it is a significant memory failure, particularly short-term memory failure. And these psychiatrists and psychologists and, the Scarboroughs and people in low lives like that going on and talking about the president's mental capacity or Stelter or Maddow, they would never say anything about Joe Biden. Never. But this is something that we, the people, should be concerned about. We, the people. It's our country, and the Democrat Party has nominated somebody who is not qualified by mental capacity, in my humble opinion, to be president of the United States. And so now they're talking about Kamala Harris as a potential running mate. Mr. Producer, who called that one? If, in fact, he does choose her. But it fills all the identity boxes, you see. It's not that she's the best candidate, the sharpest candidate. It fills the identity politics, and that's what the Democrat Party's about. Identity politics. She's just definitely not the best person to be his running mate. It doesn't matter. But it will matter in terms of governance, because the 25th Amendment may have to be triggered to move him out. I'm very concerned about this. And the way the family and his wife cover this up, of course, they are unsuccessful. And the way the media covers this up, it's always an attack on Trump. Rarely do we have, a Newsday filled with Biden. You have Tara Reid. It was like pulling eye teeth to get the media to even notice this poor lady. And they've kind of blown her off now, because Nancy Pelosi said she's not answering any more questions, and this isn't the Joe Biden she knows. And they take their marching orders, from Nancy Pelosi and vice versa. Joe Biden was in that January 5th, 2017 meeting with Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Yates, and Comey. The conspiracy meeting. Or as I call it, the equivalent of the blue dress, the document that reveals this. And here's how this went, at least initially. Cut 18 with George Stephanopoulos of Clintonoid on Good Morning America. Cut 18, go.
So what did you know about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, and was there anything improper done?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number one. Number two, this is all about diversion. This is a game this guy plays all the time. The country
Okay, let's wait. This guy is the president, you jackass, number one. Number two, he's not playing the game. He didn't release the documents. We're reading them for ourselves. We're drawing our own conclusions, and they are shocking. Absolutely shocking. Diversion from what? The president has a responsibility to uphold the rule of law. And if the prior administration used the Oval Office and the instrumentalities of the federal government, whether it's the FBI, the CIA, and other agencies, to railroad individuals and try and send them to prison, that's not a diversion, Biden. That's the job of a president and an administration. Go ahead.
Economic crisis, a health crisis. We're in real trouble.
We have an economic crisis and a health crisis that the president of the United States is spending 24 hours a day focused on. But for the media trying to undermine him and kneecap him, and but for you hiding in your damn basement, that's how you hope to run for president of the United States, trashing Trump. The nation might unite around this president, but you don't want the nation to unite around this president. The media do not want it. Romney doesn't want it. For all the talk, they do not want the nation uniting around this president. Because then his potential for victory is insurmountable. And they don't want that. Go ahead.
Stop trying to always divert attention from the real concerns of the American people. The American people are worried with good reason.
Now, Joe Biden knows the real concerns of the American people because he's in his basement. He's in his basement. And so he knows the real concerns of the American people. And what is it, Joe? The virus? Well, the president's doing something about it. You're in the basement. The economy, the president's trying to get your governors to open the economy. What are you doing? Nothing. Go ahead.
Irresponsibly from the very beginning. He continues to act irresponsibly. He hasn't done his job. This is all about diverting.
I have no idea what he's talking about, and neither does he. He hasn't done his job, you see. Looks to me like he's doing a hell of a job. Go ahead.
Diverting attention from the horrible way in which he has acted with what he did. He's not the. We don't have coronavirus.
Try hard to finish your sentence, would you? Go ahead.
We have the devastating impact of it because of his lack of a policy.
Oh, BS, you fool. You absolute fool. Lack of a policy. You looked around lately? You know what the hell's going on? Get out of your damn basement and walk down the street. Why don't you go to a grocery store and see who's carrying the weight? You don't even come out and thank the truckers, the grocery store workers, the cops, the doctors, the nurses. You're in your basement doing God knows what. I'm serious. What the hell? What's his day look like? Go ahead.
Action. It's all about diversion.
I do want to press that. You say you didn't know anything about it, but you were reported to be at a January 5th, 2017 meeting where you and the president were briefed on the FBI's plan to question Michael Flynn over those conversations he had with the Russian ambassador Kislyak.
No, I thought you asked me whether or not I had anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was aware that they asked for an investigation. But that's all I know about it, and I don't think anything else. Look, think about this.
Let's see. I'm sorry. I was aware that they had asked for an investigation, but that's all I know about it, and I don't think anything else. Well, do you know anything else or not? So that's the game. Rope-a-dope. More dope than ropa, but he's doing rope-a-dope. Wittingly or unwittingly. Go ahead.
Any other president of the United States focusing on this at the moment when...
All right, so his handlers told him, just say it's diversion. Just say don't focus on this. You see, Joe can't walk and chew gum at the same time. President of the United States can. He can walk and chew gum at the same time. President of the United States has to deal with multiple issues at one time. It is not a diversion. It's not a diversion when the prior administration tried to sabotage the election, and after the election tried to sabotage the incoming administration. That's not a diversion. Now, maybe in Joe Biden's world it's a diversion, but not in our world. There's nothing diversionary about this. The President of the United States has been full speed ahead dealing with the coronavirus. He's full speed ahead.